it.
Look at you. Look at you.
I'm feeling I feel really
Be honest. How do you feel right now after that after a fresh cut? You
I feel really good.
yeah, absolutely, exactly. Like
I
that.
do. I
I don't
do.
know. If you've seen like that famous Jason Tatum clip from like his like rookie or second year, where he's like, when I get a fresh cut, I think I'm top five. And they're like, top five what? Just top five.
Just top 5.
It
Well,
is so true. Every time
listen,
when you get a fresh cut, man, you act different. You feel different. You act different.
is there like do you almost feel, can I, and maybe you feel the same way, but like, is there like do you feel like you have like another superpower or something?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
especially
Special character unlocked.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if somebody was to sit there and say, choose your character, you'd be like,
That yeah
and
yeah
me after a fresh cut and a beard trim. That
yeah.
is exactly how I would feel.
It's like a
Um,
power up when you get like when you play like NBA 2K or whatever, and like you get like we get one of those like special like oh boost whatever thing for the next 2 weeks, and you're like hell yeah yeah
you get extra XP and all that
extra
stuff.
charisma, extra sweat. Yeah, it's different, man.
Yeah.
Uh, but it can go the other way too if you get a bad one. If you get a bad cut.
Listen, before, and we didn't start recording yet, I was telling you, it was some type of celebration that, it was either a Father's Day or a birthday. I can't exactly remember. It was one of the two. But Bianca was talking to me about, like, she always makes me like an itinerary of things that are going to be happening, right?
Right.
And she'll go, all of a sudden she goes, I scheduled you for a haircut and a beard trim at a barber. And I go, what? A what? Oh, sorry. Oh, what? Oh, what did you do? Oh, well, what is going on here? Because she knows how much I love my beard and how much I like to maintain it and stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I searched these people online, and like, it looks like they show pictures and stuff. It looks like they have a really cool environment in there. There's ring lights. I thought it would be right up your alley because, you're creating content all the time. You love your ring light. And I'm like, oh man, this is looking really okay. All right. All right. So I get in there and like, and I'm gonna give a shout out. The guy's name is Giovanni. Giovanni is he's good, man. He's good at what he does. Like, he's got and it did not disappoint. Like, the ring lights, the environment is really clean and really like even like friendly, like, and inviting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All the barbers are very, they got a lot of energy, and they're just, I don't know, like, I don't even want to call it a typical barbershop environment, because this is the first environment like that I've actually been in.
Hmm.
So, all I'm saying is like, hey, I've it's worth the money that I pay for it, like, 100%, 100%.
Hmm.
But you're right, it could go the other way. But thankfully for me, the 3 times that I have gone there now, because I just recently started, um, I'm not disappointed, and I feel so good. I feel so good when I leave there.
Yeah.
I feel so good when I leave there, and then I get home, and then Bianca's just looking at me like, "Look at you,
Yeah.
man. You're just,
You're glowing. You're
yes,
glowing.
yes. I
Yeah.
feel it. I
Yeah.
feel it.
Bro, like so I've been going to the same my same barber. I mean he's a friend of mine now, but I've been going there for about 13 years now. So
Oh,
like
you're seasoned. There you go.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he know unless I like tell him otherwise, like there's something I want to switch up, like if I'm growing my hair out, like because in the past I've had, curls or whatever, or if I do have curls, I'm like, yeah, I just want to cut it all. I'm gonna cut it off. Unless I tell him otherwise, he knows exactly the length I want on the top. He knows I want a bald fade and the beard. Clean up the beard. He knows everything, so I don't really have to tell him anything. Ran into an issue last week, so
Oh,
I had a wedding to go to last week. Um, a long time, probably one of my longest like tenured friends of like since like first grade, getting married. and the wedding was Saturday. I took Friday off. They had like welcome drinks or whatever that night, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna set up a haircut to get on Friday afternoon, early Friday afternoon. Get me fresh. That way I'll be good for the Friday night and Saturday. Boom. Right? I wake up to a text from like this was probably like 6 a.m. He sent this. Been like, yo, Derek, sorry, I have to cancel the appointment today because he had some sort of emergency.
Oh
And I was
no.
like, oh no,
Oh no.
oh no. So I'm like, what do I do? Because I haven't gone to anybody around here.
Yeah, yeah.
I strictly go with him. I think in the last like 13 years since I've been going to see him, I've maybe I've seen like one other guy for a haircut who is a kid I grew up with. And other than that, the only haircut I think I've gotten was like out in Vegas last year. So I'm like, what the fuck do I do? So I'm looking. Knew there was a spot like in the next town, in the town I live, because I go to the next town over to see him. So I'm like, fuck. So I book an appointment. I go see this. I go see them, and it wasn't bad, but it was not what I really wanted. Like,
Yeah. Well, dude, you go to somebody for so long and they know it, like you were saying, they know exactly what you want. They know exactly what
yeah,
you need. They know exactly how you want it and how you're gonna feel afterward. Like, dude, they know, like they know this stuff.
yeah,
That
and
would have
like,
thrown me off. I would have been like,
yeah,
like what do we do?
yeah, and like, so like, my boy, he's like a master like at fades. Like can do that shit in his sleep.
Yeah.
So like, but where I went, I'm definitely not gonna say any names. But like the guy was like, oh yeah, he's like, yeah. He didn't say it in like these words, but he's basically just like, yeah, I haven't really been doing like bald fades as much, and I'm like, oh, that's comforting. Fuck. I'm like, how you can't, you know what I mean? Like, how can you mess it up? But the actual cut was fine, but I was like, first of all, I think y'all are overthinking it. Like, just you're thinking too much on it. But then, like, there's another guy there who was supposed to be like even better, who's like the best, right? So at one point, I had like both of these dudes with clippers in their hands, like cutting my hair, and I'm like, what has happened? Why is there
Wait,
two guys?
there were two people? There were two people?
Yeah, I was
What?
like, this is new. I've never seen this before in my life, and I'm like, this also doesn't seem like there's no way you're both doing these same exact movements and think like something's gonna be off. And then the hair was fine. Like I didn't really care about like the actual cut, but it was the beard. Like this was fine, but they fucked this up here, and like you can still see it. Like it's still like
I could see what you okay, listen, not even knowing you for that long, I could see what you mean. Like
yeah, because
I
there's
get it.
usually
Yeah.
fuller in here,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
they put it like super thin. And actually, interestingly enough, it looked more full last week when I got it done, as opposed to a week later, which is bizarre to me. Like as the week has been going on, I'm like, how does it look like there's less hair now than there was before? That's bizarre. But I was in that chair for like 2 hours, dude.
2
Yeah,
hours?
yeah.
Holy shit.
Because Buddy like was kind of messing it up at first, I guess, and then the other guy came in and he was like trying to fix it, and I'm like, bro, like I gotta go. Like I got shit to do, man. Like, yeah, not the greatest
Not to
experience of
be not
my
to be
life.
like, okay, wait, I'm sorry. Like not to be like I, I'm really not trying to be I'm not trying to be sexist when I say this, but like that is almost like a woman when she goes in for her hair appointment, that's going to take like 2 hours. Like
Oh
depending on
yeah,
what
yeah,
they're
yeah,
getting
yeah.
done. We're guys, like we don't get like even if we do ask for a haircut and a beard trim, like today for me, even with, like before, yeah, like today, like it took maybe 45 minutes.
Yeah. I like an hour
Hour
max. I feel
tops.
like
Yeah, yeah.
you're getting
100%.
like a proper like bald fade cut, and then a shape like shaping the beard and like maybe trimming a little bit, like going like into super detail. Hour max, like, and that's like
Yes.
the absolute max. I was in that shit for like 2 hours, dog, and like I came out and I'm like, I wasn't like disappointed. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, for 2 hours, Like,
And then you think about what you paid for it, and then you think,
yeah,
yeah, oh man.
yeah.
There's
And
just
I
a
was,
lot of contributing. There's a lot of contributing factors in that.
yeah,
I get it.
it's funny because like I was talking to my buddy that night, uh, and he was like he had a bad experience with um, getting a haircut the week before
The
because
same
his guy
people?
was no.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I was gonna
because
say
his
like,
he's been going to his guy for like 15 years or something like that, and he had like the same similar situation where he had to go see somebody else, and he's like, I hate it. I couldn't tell because I wouldn't know. I don't see him very often, so like I couldn't tell. And he was saying the same thing. It's like honestly, like if you didn't say anything, I wouldn't know. Like it looks fine to me, and it probably did look fine to most people, but to me, I was like, yo,
hey,
this isn't what I wanted, but whatever.
this is
But yeah,
no.
man,
Oh,
it,
jeez.
it can make a difference because like I've gotten some cuts where I'm like top five,
That's it.
top
Yeah, you're
five.
feeling it. You're feeling it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Even when had to get a cut out in Vegas, it was different. It wasn't the same obviously as like going to my guy, but it was pretty good. Like I was like, yeah, this is good.
I
But this
mean,
one was
questionable. Questionable. Listen,
could
listen.
have been worse. Would have preferred it been better. That's all. That's how I'll say it. That's how I'll say it.
And you know what? And that's okay. You know what's really funny is that I was actually about to because these guys that I go to, they have actually I shouldn't say these guys, like they have a couple women there too who do really great work, like they especially when it comes to beards. Like I saw one guy go in there looking like Santa Claus. um I mean, he was like he was Santa Claus but with a brown beard. Like this guy was grisly as hell. And so but I was like, when the guy was working on the guy that I had, he was working on me, and I took a look over because he took a break to go grab a hot towel, and then I look over there and I'm just like, I'm looking at where he was before that, and then where he was at that point when she was working on him, and I'm like, oh, jeez. I'm like, you guys know what you're doing here. And it's nice. It's nice to see that it's like not only like for adults, but like it's also for kids. Like because there was a kid there today. He looked like maybe he was about 8 or 9, and this guy was giving him a fade that was like top. It was top 5. That kid, if
Top
that
five.
kid, if that kid was not feeling top 5 after he left, then I would want to have a talk with him and just say, hey kid, listen, you're looking top 5, so I think you should feel it. you know. So it was a yeah, no, but I get it though. Like, not people. I used to just go to like sports clips, and you can't listen. There's not a lot to do here. Okay, there's not a lot. There's not a lot to do. All right, I get it. But the more that I've been like growing my beard out, and the more I've been maintaining it and
That's where it
stuff,
is.
that's where it is for me. Like all of a sudden I have a newfound like appreciation for the barber, like to take care of all that stuff. So I'm not going back to sports clips anytime soon.
I
Sorry.
wouldn't.
It's not gonna
I
it's not
wouldn't.
gonna happen. And you see it. You told me, listen, you said it. I'm glowing top 5. I feel like I'm feeling good. I mean, I walked out of
That's
there. I'm telling you, man, I walked out of there. I forgot about my back problems. Like
that's the thing.
it
That's
was
it.
it was so
Like look,
good.
uh, it on like the cut, my haircut, because I mean I don't have a whole lot right now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's pretty basic. When I grow my hair out, it's a little longer. Obviously, there's more to do. But like the my main concern usually is my beard. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes even my guy, sometimes he'll go a little low, little too low for my liking because I want it like wide, you know.
Yes. Hmm.
But and sometimes he'll go a little lower than I prefer, and I'm like, shit, maybe I should have said something before, but whatever. Uh, but yeah, that makes all the difference.
It
Like,
does. It
he,
does.
um, I do gotta ask though, this barbershop that you go to now,
Okay.
are we are we dealing with some color there, some Hispanic or Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
black?
Yeah,
What are we talking?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It
I know.
sound from the you
Yeah,
listen.
yeah.
You do. No, you do. And
Do
that's
they
like
season their food?
if I were to ask, I'm assuming they might. Let's just go 50-50 on that. They might, I mean, this guy that I talked to, he, the funny thing is that whenever I'm like having conversations with these guys, I don't want to automatically assume that they know, like that just because they're guys that they know certain things. Like, right, I'm not going to sit there and just be like, if I start talking about the Bulls, like I can't just automatically assume that they know who the Bulls are or if they follow them or if they support them, whatever. This guy that I have is very much into like Premier League, La Liga, like football in Europe, man. Like he is all about that stuff. So what I will do is I'll forget. I won't even mention. I will not even mention like Chicago Bulls. I won't mention Cubs. I won't mention anything like that. I'll just be like, oh, dude, so you're into you're into soccer, football for Europe and stuff like that. That's great, So, but yes, there's definitely a lot of the a lot of the Hispanic touch when you definitely walk in there. They had a lot of music playing in there today, and to tell you the truth, I don't care. I don't care, man.
Little reggaeton.
It sounded like reggaeton, and it also sounded there was actually I actually, it was really funny because one of the guys actually said, "Hey man, turn that off." Not the not the
that works there.
no, yeah, one of the guys that works there, and he starts. So Giovanni, the guy that I had, he goes, "Why, man?" He's like, "Why, man? You didn't like the last song that was playing?" He goes, "Nah, it's not my favorite." And but like they all were sharing their moment together of like, why do you love, what are you talking about? Why do you not like this? And all that, it was, I love the environment. Like, it's just,
of course.
it's so good. It's so good. And it's so like, again, like I said before, like earlier, they just have a lot of really great energy in there. And that's what that's what I look for. I look for the energy. But what I will say is that I can't stand the customers that, I guess I should ask this before I start going into this. Do you have to schedule your appointments like book them in advance? Like, do you have to do that, or can you just walk in and say, "Hey, I'm here for a haircut"? Like, are you like, what is that? Is that what type of I guess
the etiquette?
Yeah, what's the etiquette there for you?
So it's kind of both.
Okay.
Like walk-ins are welcome,
Okay.
but if you have an appointment, you're obviously gonna have precedence. So like,
Yeah. Right. Okay.
especially more so now, it's a lot more schedule based. Like when I first started going to him, it was a lot of walk-ins, and then like there wasn't like a schedule. I mean, you could call on schedule, but like now it's like there's like he has like an app. I can schedule online,
Okay.
phone, whatever. So it's it's definitely more schedule based, but like definitely walk-ins are welcome. But like where I went to for my haircut last week, it's kind of the same, but it's like if I just walked in, it would have been the same amount of like wait.
Okay.
But
Okay. So for me, yeah. So for me, because it all depends. Like, there were times where, like if I had the day off or something, I'd be able to have a little bit more flexibility as far as like scheduling and stuff like that. Like maybe a couple weeks in advance and say like, okay, I'm going to be off on this day. Let's see if I can, if by happen, if it so happens that I need one, I'll sit there and, I'll be like, all right, cool. Like, what do I got to do? Like, I'll go ahead and I'll schedule it either way. I've just seen a lot of people, not this time around, but the last time that I went. And to be fair, I don't know if it was because it was like homecoming weekend for a lot of high schools around the area. Like, I'm not really sure if that had anything to do with it. But what I do know is that this guy had to turn down a lot of people because they, like, when they walked in, like every chair was filled. Every chair was filled. All these people are coming in because they have scheduled appointments and everything. So I think I'm asking that like more out of curiosity, because again, like I don't scheduling. And I actually asked him too. I said, do you feel like it's better? Like, do you feel better if people schedule appointments rather than like walking in and stuff like that? He goes, well, he's like, honestly, he goes, it's fine if people walk in, but we have to be under the understanding that we may have to turn people down because we do get pretty busy around here. So we still leave that option available for them, but we do prefer that people schedule. And the other thing that I do, because I do understand this, and I absolutely hate it for anybody who works in any type of business, like when it comes to tips, I pay in cash. I don't do the I can't do the electronic, like the I just don't feel right. I don't feel right paying electronically like by card, because
Yeah.
I know that there's a certain percentage that gets taken away, as far as like, I don't know, whatever. I don't know exactly how that works, but like fees or something like that when they use it electronically. It's nice that they have that option available for people. But what I really hope sometimes is I really wish that people would kind of take that into consideration and then maybe tip a little bit more than what they originally thought they should. I get people only can do what they can do, but for me, like I give this guy cash every time that I've gone, and he has been, and I don't think he wants to admit it, but I know that I know that he appreciates that. The like today before I was about to pay, he was just like, he broke out the card reader, to insert the card.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, oh, he's like, oh, you're paying in cash. And I go, yeah, man. I'm paying in cash. Like, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, every dollar is worth it here, please. Like,
Yeah.
you make me feel like a new person every time you're done. So I'm walking out of here. I'm walking out of here a new man. And, so,
That's a big thing. That's a big thing, man. Because like, obviously, like, looks aren't everything, and you don't want to be. We don't necessarily like, but it helps.
I want to kiss
when you-
myself. Okay. I want to kiss myself. I don't give a shit.
Ah, yes.
Somebody had to say it.
Yes.
Somebody had to say it. Okay. You just,
but
it's
like,
it's good.
it is a thing, like, obviously it's not like looks mean everything, and like, but sometimes in order to feel confident in yourself, you gotta feel like you look good. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Hell yeah.
that is one of the main reasons why I get my haircut every 2 weeks. I mean, if I could afford it, I would get my haircut every week, like once a week, because for one thing, my hair grows back like crazy, except for right here apparently. But like, my hair grows back crazy, so like I would get it touched up like once a week if I could, if I had the coin. But like, that's a big reason why I do it.
Yeah, man.
I don't do it for like people I work with. They don't give a shit. So like, it's
but yeah, who cares though? They don't give a shit. It doesn't
they
matter.
don't. So it's like, I gotta do. We gotta do what we can to look good. I mean, why did I fucking starve myself for a month? Not eating meat and eating no good ice cream and whatever, because I wanted to fucking look good. I just wanted to be confident in myself. I didn't want to look like a fucking Twizzler or whatever you called it the other day. Yeah.
When I texted, oh God. When I texted you,
take it behind the curtain. We can take it behind the curtain.
we'll take it. We'll take it behind the curtain and everything. Yeah, I appreciate that. But man, I did text that to you, and after I sent it, I was like, "What the fuck does that even mean?"
Sure. So context. Jimmy was like, I won't say everything, but Jamie was saying like, he was kind of going through it a little bit. He had a moment. We all do. And he just wanted to vent. And he was basically saying something along the lines of like, no matter how hard I work out, I still feel like I look like a fucking Twizzler or something like that. And like, it was a serious moment, but like me reading that verbiage, I'm like, I legit chuckled at my desk out loud because it's like a fucking Twizzler. One, I'm like, I don't know what that means, but two, like, that's so funny. Like, I'm probably gonna use that from now on to describe anything. Like, don't be a fucking Twizzler. Like, that's dude looking like a fucking Twizzler over here. No, it was so fun. It wasn't meant to be, but it was hilarious.
No, and listen,
in the moment.
I was having a moment. Like I was oh God. I had vented to Bianca about a few things before I even texted you that, and then and then the words that I used, because I'm literally, man, if you would have saw me typing that message, I was like this, and I'm just going all over. I did not care what I had said at that point. I'm like, send it and get out. And then after, and I did. I was like, I work out, I bust my ass, and I still look like the world's most awkward fucking Twizzler. Like, what
That
is
was it.
going
Yeah.
on? And I couldn't even, like, it was so bad. It was so bad, but I had to get it out. I had to get it out. So that's, hey, look, listen. We're all healthy and we're good. But like, man,
I was like, first of all, looking like a fucking awkward Twizzler is crazy. I was dying.
I wouldn't even know how a human could look like that, but I mean,
I was
it
like,
just
let me address this off rip. I'll get to the serious stuff later in a second, but I gotta address this first because this is fucking hilarious. But no, for real, like it is important to an extent. Like obviously, like we're not like superficial necessarily, but we are. Everybody is to an extent. It's like you care how you look, you care how you present yourself, and sometimes it's more about how you feel like to yourself rather than how other people feel about the way you look. And when you walk out that barbershop with that fresh cut, man, you different.
I
It's
felt like me
different.
walking out of there was illegal. Like
Exactly. Like there's
I
like a
did.
soundtrack behind you. Like you feel like you're like in a scene of a movie or a TV show or something. Like
Yeah,
it's
something.
just like
Well, and not to mention, though, not even that. Like, first of all, my mother-in-law even like did a double take because I came home and like they were working on whatever they were working on because she always helps my wife out with like school stuff. Like, my wife laminates a lot of stuff for her classroom and like where she's helping her out. She saw I walked in the my office here because that's where they were working on stuff, and she goes, Jimmy, she's like, Jimmy, you look really good, man. And I'm like I feel really good, like shit. And then to see the look on Bianca's face when because dude, I was looking. Not like I'm not gonna even. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be nice to myself about this. Okay, I was not looking necessarily like a disaster, but more of just like, yeah, you should probably go get your hair cut because you're starting to turn into curly Q on here on the side. Like I'm gonna like, man, we're talking about like Shaggy. Like I put my hair on, I look like a skater. Or I put my hat on, I look like a skater. It was absolutely crazy. So then when I came home and she was like, no, she was like, I'm so glad that I introduced you to this place. And I go, I'm glad you did too, because again, they like even Bianca and her mom, like they go to a certain place that's like 45 minutes away.
yeah,
But they
man.
know,
They know how they gonna feel after.
they know how they're gonna feel afterwards. Yeah, exactly. And I'm almost like kind of sitting there, and it was just like it's like when I had the pumpkin spice latte in the Target parking lot, and I'm just like, I get it. Like I get it now. I get it. It was like a light bulb went off or something.
It's what's funny is like I picture you walking out of the barbershop, like walking down the street, like that scene in 500 Days of Summer, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like like Hall & Oates is playing in the background, and it's just like you make my dreams come true. You're just like a whole new man. It's just like hell yeah, that's that's what I'm picturing right now.
Yep,
Yeah,
I get it.
Everybody's like dancing behind you. Yeah, absolutely. That's it.
Yeah,
It changes you.
It changed. It's just I'm glad. I feel really good about it. That's all. That's all. Yeah.
You gotta treat yourself for one, but like it's all about what helps you make you feel better, make you feel confident. Like I've been thinking about it a lot. Like I've lost a lot of like my confidence over the years, but specifically this year, and then like getting back into shape and feeling better. It's like really like got my confidence back a little bit, and I'm like,
dude, I'm glad you brought that up because the transformation that, okay, I am going to call it a transformation. Okay. The before and after photos that you had posted. Okay. I was sitting there and I go, holy shit. Now and then here's the thing though. We talked about it behind the scenes, like when you were going through it. I knew you had it in you, and I knew you were going to get it done. It was just a matter of when, like when it was going to happen, right?
Right.
And like and that's what I was just, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I know I already told you that I was so happy, and I was so proud. I was so proud of you, and I was like, hell, fucking yeah, man! Like you're like, and again, it's not about the fact that, yes, like, is it great? Is it great that you got yourself back, that you're continuing to get yourself back into shape? 100%. 100%, because it's a continuous journey, right? It's not something where it's just like, we talk about, people who do, people sometimes do like these 30, 60, 90-day programs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
those 30, 60, 90 days are even up, it doesn't matter. Like, you got it. You have
You
to
got to
keep
keep
going.
going.
You got to
Yeah,
keep
it's not.
going.
Yeah,
It's a lifelong
It's not a
type thing.
finish line.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a
So,
checkpoint. It's not really a finish line.
so
Yeah.
for you, when I saw that, I was just like, I, I know that guy. I'm like, I know that guy. He's one of my best friends. I know that guy, man. He is a legend for doing the shit that he's done. And I'm just, and so, but when you talk about that confidence, man, like and again, we'll bring this into context. One of the reasons, like, I've had so many struggles internally with, like, all the stuff that I've been doing as far as, like, working out, keeping myself in shape. Like, it's a different type of life. Like, it's a different lifestyle in a sense, because, like, I feel like being with my kids every day is a fucking workout within itself.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, I want to still be able to, I still want to be able to run around with them. I want to be able to, I want to be able to
Right.
keep up, like, go for walks outside without feeling like without feeling like I'm dying and all that, whatever. And it's one of those things where I lost a little bit of confidence in that, because I was just like, all right, I got tired, and I'll full disclosure, like, I got tired of paying for gyms. I have more than enough equipment. I have more than enough equipment in my house, where I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to make this work. I've had this internal struggle with myself for so long, where I was like, do I really need a gym, or am I just overthinking this? Like, what am I overthinking what I actually need? Right. So when I stopped going, and I just kind of trusted the process a little bit more. And then I just started to realize, like, what exactly would it mean? What exactly would it mean to you to be, like, happy with yourself? Like, what would it mean for you to feel confident? Like, what exactly?
What is
Right.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? Like, what does that look like? So finally, for the first time, and again, this is just a work in progress, but hell, I'm doing all this. I'm doing these exercises, like, just with my dumbbells in my home office. And, like, I've got an app where I'm like, all right, I'm going to trust the process. Here's what it wants me to do. I'm telling it what my goals are. And there we go. It's honestly probably the most confident that I have felt in a really long time. But again, that's just a work in progress, though. That's never going to be 100%. Like you said, it's not the finish line. And we just got to keep working at it. But I think, and you maybe you feel this too, but, like, we got to allow ourselves to feel that way. Like, we have to allow ourselves to feel that way. We can't just sit there and say, like, it's almost like allow yourself to be happy, in a sense, instead of just sitting there and going, well, hey, yeah, like, I guess I'm getting myself in a pretty good shape, but I don't want to be cocky or anything. But I'm also then I kind of backtrack, and I'm like, fuck that. I don't care if I'm cocky about it. It's my body, and it's my mind, and it's my world. Like, what, why not?
Yeah. No, 100%. Like, it kind of brings us back to just the haircut, whatever. Like, we can be a little superficial, and it's okay. You can be like, I look good, and yeah, and as you were saying before, like, it's for me specifically, like, with this, like, these last few months, like, the I was actually talking to my friend's wife about this last night, because she told me, she's been, like, on, like, a bit of a weight loss journey since, like, July, and, like, she completely this could resonate with her. Like, when you are, like, trying to make that transformation, or whatever, one of the hardest things to do is take that before picture.
Oh, it
You
is.
know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, for me, like, especially like, not and like again, this is gonna sound like, oh, this guy, but like I've never looked really like that before. You know what I mean? I've always been fairly either just super skinny or like, in shape, right? So it was very difficult for me to take that picture looking like that. But I also knew at the end, I'm like, I'm gonna look very different.
Yeah.
Like I know that it's going to look. I'm taking this for the after. I know, like nobody's
Yeah.
gonna see this until I'm ready for them to see it.
Yeah.
And that was the case because like nobody, even like my roommates, who I live, like they didn't even know it was that bad because like I would cover up with like hoodies and
Sweatshirts,
like something
hoodies.
that's loose clothing. Like I typically wear like a medium t-shirt, right? And it's a little snug, but shows off, right?
Yeah.
I was wearing large shirts because the mediums were a little too snug during that time, right? So you couldn't really tell. Even like once I started going to the gym, I wasn't. I would usually wear. I usually wear cutoffs, right? Like cut off
Oh
sleeves
yeah.
like
Yeah.
when I lift.
Mm-hmm.
Not for like the first month, right? Because like I didn't even want that to look. You know what I mean? So I was like, I'm not unveiling any of this until I'm ready. And so some people will be like, oh well, who cares? And like, you're right to an
You're right.
extent. A
Who
lot of
does?
things like who cares, but
But I
I
do.
did,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but it's definitely a confidence thing. So like once I felt like okay, I'm getting a little better. I feel a little more comfortable. Then I'll take the sleeves, right? Then once I'm feeling like I've shed a little bit of pounds, okay, I'll go back to the medium shirts that are fit a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
It's a process, and like obviously my situation is very different from everybody else's, but like I I'll be honest with you, man, it was pretty cool to see. Like I had a lot of people who were like reaching out to me, whether it was
Oh yeah.
about whether it was just specifically about like the sciatica of it all, like how did you deal with that, or other people like, dude, how did you lose so much weight like in such a like short span? And I was like, well, you know, it sucked. uh and the timing was very funny because there was a video I saw on TikTok of Roman Reigns, wrestler, and basically talking about his diet because like he came back from, I think it was, he had his first match last month in like 6 months, right? And he was shredded, probably the best shape he's ever been in his life, right? And obviously people probably were asking him, well, what's the
What's your
secret?
secret? Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing he said, he's like, you have to accept being miserable.
Yeah.
You have
Yep.
to accept being miserable to the point where it's just normal. And that was where I was with the diet, where I was like, I'm miserable, but I know the end game. And like,
Yeah.
I know eating like a rabbit for like a few weeks, just eating salads is going to be worth it in the end, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's not what anybody wants to hear. I know damn well it's not what anybody wants to hear,
Yeah.
but that's what it was. You know what I mean? Like cutting out everything I love for the most part. You know, not
Yeah. I will
you
say.
got to make sacrifices, but yeah, that's where I was at for that.
I will say. I will say. Actually, I will say. It's funny because um, when I was like going to the gym and stuff, I started to realize that I was actually lifting for the wrong reasons. And that's probably gonna sound it's probably gonna sound weird. So I'll try to give it more I'll try to be more specific. Um it was almost like I was lifting as if I was a bodybuilder.
Mm,
But I'm not a bodybuilder. Okay. That's not what I am. Like
breaking news,
yeah, hey,
everybody.
hey, hey, listen. People have said to me sometimes, oh my god, you look swole as fuck. And I'm like, what? I'm like,
What?
you need to
No, stop it.
settle yourself.
Stop. Stop. Don't
Stop,
say that.
please. I mean, say more.
That's
But it
like the
was
ultimate
more.
compliment of
It
anybody who
really is.
ever
It
goes to
really
the
is. Yeah.
gym. That's
But
the
anyway, but
best.
it was. But I started to realize. But I started to realize like how much food I was actually craving in order to make sure that I was maintaining what I was actually lifting. And
Mm,
it wasn't like I was it wasn't like I was overeating, but it was almost like I was just eating because I was like shit, I got to make sure that I gotta make sure I just don't feel hungry, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Since I stopped going, and I started to do what I've done here at my house, like dude, I've got no joke, no joke. I have dumbbells that go from 5 pounds, like 5 pounds in increments of I've got 5, 10s, 15s, 20s, and then it goes to 30, and then it goes nope, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then 40. That's a decent
Mm-hmm.
hey, that's a decent
I don't need much more than that.
range. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's a decent range. So I started to realize that like it wasn't even about the weight necessarily. It was about other things like
Mhm.
time under tension, adding a set, adding reps, whatever. Like all that different stuff. Next thing you know, I started not craving as much food, I guess you could say. Like I'm still eating. Don't get me wrong. Like I still love food and I'm still eating. But I'm not going like as crazy with it for when I was at the gym and I was like, and I'm putting like freaking 4 45-pound plates on each side for the leg press. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just, it was ridiculous. And then I also started to realize that the exercises I was doing, they were not really fun. They were not friendly on my joints.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm 35. Okay. I'm 35 and I should not feel old. Like that's the like I should not. I shouldn't. No, I shouldn't. I really should not.
Yeah.
I'm being dead serious. Okay. I should not. I
I know.
I should not feel like every part of me is aching for the wrong reasons. Like and so I started to so again, as I started to like cut back on some stuff and just rely on the weights that I have and make sure that I do good form on the exercises and do, good quality workouts. And you don't have to do 2 hours at a time. You know, you don't have to do 2 hours. I do maybe 30 to 45 minutes.
You don't have
Really.
to. I do.
Well, hey, listen, no, listen.
I'm a
By
sicko.
preference, if you prefer that, then hey, go for it. I applaud you. And please go for it. But again,
Yeah.
we do the things that we do to help us feel good, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Yep.
like it's so incredibly important. Like I'm just, man, I'm happy that I'm just so fucking happy for you. I'm not kidding, dude. I'm so happy for you. Like I've always been proud of you, but I have never been more proud of you than I am now because of all the shit that you went through. Like, holy, I don't even, I'm just, I'm
I
inspired.
appreciate it, dude.
I'm inspired.
I
Listen,
appreciate it.
I'm inspired by you. I really am. Like, I'm not,
I really
it,
appreciate that.
you should feel good about that. Like, at
I
least
do.
once
Yeah.
every day.
At least once every day. No, like I've honestly, I'm proud of myself for doing like because I didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like
It's a
obviously,
choice.
like I had to
Yeah.
get shit, but like yeah, it was. But like it was a choice I made months ago. I just wasn't able to physically do it. Like I could have honestly, I said this before, like I could have started that diet months before to counteract me not being able to work out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that could have, but I was like, no, because I want to be happy. Not happy. Obviously, I wasn't happy, but I was like, I want to have some sliver of happiness, and that Wendy's, that's gonna give me that sliver of happiness. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
pizza, that's gonna give me that some sliver, right? But I always said that whole time, I'm like, you to myself, like you want, once you get that go ahead, once you're able to like get back into the gym or whatever, it's gonna stop. Like we gotta have to like ease up on this, right?
Yeah.
And then when I was like, okay, we gotta start this diet a little bit. I didn't even intend for it to be like longer than like maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I'm like, that should be good. And then we kind of get back to kind of how it used to be. But I was like, it's working, so I got to
Mhm.
stick with this probably another month or so. And like, I didn't expect to drop like what was it? It was 12 pounds, and
Mhm.
like honestly, it was probably like 6 or 7 weeks because that first week I went back to the gym. I went once and I rode the bike for like 18, 20 minutes tops.
Okay.
So like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like I was, and I didn't really switch up my diet a whole lot that week either. So honestly, it was probably like 6, 7 weeks which probably honestly it's even more ridiculous. But like,
But still, I mean,
yeah,
it still
it's
worked.
I really was proud of myself because I've never had a diet. I've never been on a diet before. I've tried to eat healthy ish, you know what I mean, for the most part, balanced, right? But like I've never been like, nah, bro, like no pizza, no ice cream,
Oh,
no bread, no
yep.
dairy, no I wouldn't no meat for a month. Um just cuz I was like, oh, let's see if this helps. It did,
Yeah.
kind of. And yeah, so I was like, candy. Anybody who knows me knows I fucking love candy. And it was like,
Dude, I
thankfully, I
whoa.
got that out of the way before Halloween. I will say,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was, I wasn't, I didn't do that on
Good time.
purpose, but thank
Good
God it
timing.
worked out
Good
that way.
timing there. Good
Yeah,
timing there.
yeah,
Yeah. Especially when all the Halloween candy goes on sale. So
yeah,
you know,
absolutely. Yeah,
you
best
know.
time of the year. Uh, but yeah, I really was. I was proud of myself that I was able to do that and like continue. And it was interesting too, because like I had some cravings, but like I wasn't like super hungry necessarily. Like I would eat like maybe some scrambled eggs like a couple days a week.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be like my dinner, my big dinner. Otherwise, it was like salad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oops. Might munch on some celery sticks if we're feeling crazy, you know? Like like that was my snack. It was a those celery
Damn, dude.
sticks.
Did you do like peanut butter with the celery sticks or anything like
Nope.
that?
No.
No. Oh, you
No.
just went full, you went full, like full-fledged, like just raw celery. That's what you
Yeah.
did? Oh,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
man.
Hmm.
I
And it was funny. It
I
was like my roommate was like, um, he was like, so the dog, one of the dogs loves celery for some. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen a dog that obsesses over celery like this. So like he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I know you love celery, but I fucking hate it. I'm like, I don't love celery. Let's just
it's not
clarify that. I don't
this
love
is not
celery.
a yeah, right, right.
I'm eating it because it's helpful with this diet. I'm not like a celery stan. I'm not like can't wait to eat myself. No, bro, it just helped.
Yeah.
Like let's pump the brakes on that.
Eh, I'm
Let's
not
not
about to sit here.
let's not get that rumor out there.
My first choice is not celery. Trust me,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not.
It's
Let's be very clear.
I will say though, people who are maybe looking to diet, it is a very helpful tool. It's obviously very low calories. It's just a lot of water,
You're gonna be
so it
miserable.
fills you up.
Yeah, you're gonna be
You know what I
miserable.
mean?
But yeah, it's
But
just
if
what it is.
you, yeah,
Yeah.
that it's a good snack if you want to be if you're dieting and like just need something to like kind of satiate your hunger. Where it's like
Yeah.
you eat a couple celery sticks, it's like okay,
I'm good.
it's like drinking some a lot. It's not good, but it's like drinking like a ton of water, where it's like you're gonna be full because it's water
Yeah.
basically. So it's like
Yeah.
a lot of celery, a lot of watermelon. I had yeah, a lot of fruits and vegetables for a month, and then honest, I didn't have red meat, any red meat until last week
I don't know
when I
how
had.
you did. I don't know how you honestly, like, kudos to you for doing that. Also, I have to ask you because I did see a video you posted of taking a bite of the pizza for the first time and however long it had been. I'm not gonna lie to you. I felt all of that.
You
Like
felt that bite.
I felt that bite because I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like pizza for me once a week. Like I'm not.
Oh, yeah, me too. Absolutely.
It's a typical thing. Like
It's my
it's
favorite food
almost
group.
100%,
Yeah.
100%. And we like the place that we always get our pizza from. It's a local favorite. And whenever like if it is, I visit you, you visit me, whatever. Like we will get pizza. We will
100%.
we will get pizza from this place called Nancy's, and
Fucking Nancy.
it's
Hell yeah,
located like
Nancy.
15 minutes away, dude. It is
Nice.
some of the best pizza around. Not gonna lie to you, but uh, when you had that and like I'm sitting there and I was like, oh Lord, what is happening?
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Dude, it was oh yeah. And it was good pizza too, but
Well, if you're gonna come
yeah,
back to it, you're not just gonna half-ass the pizza, dude.
fair. 100%.
You're
I'm not
not
going
gonna half-ass
Domino's
it. There
or
was no way there's no way
yeah.
I would not expect anything less from you. Like you
Yeah.
would,
No, it
there's no
was
way.
bro, like I don't know if you remember this is I don't know, like probably like over 15 years ago or something like that. David Hasselhoff, that video where he was like shirtless eating that cheeseburger
Oh,
on like the kitchen floor or whatever. It was
yeah.
just like a absolute slop mess on everywhere. That's how I felt eating that pizza because like I was all alone. Roommates were gone. I'm in the kitchen, no TV, no music. I'm literally just eating this over the box, and it's just like pieces are falling off, and it's just like,
It's perfect. It's
and I'm
perfect.
just like, I don't care. This is
I do not care.
I don't care, and it was
It's
just a hot
all
mess.
it's
I didn't have
it's
my shirt off, but other than that, it was very David Hasselhoff ish energy. It was Hasselhoff vibes, but wouldn't change it for the world. It was so.
I wouldn't have, dude.
Uh,
I wouldn't have changed it, man. Like the reaction that you had, and like I think that just made me even happier for you because I was just sitting there and I was like, oh, he is enjoying the shit out of this,
uh,
and it is so well deserved, and it is just like let it all happen, let it
yeah,
all happen, let the
yeah,
emotions flow, let your taste buds be satisfied. It's okay.
yeah.
Everything is okay in this world.
I still haven't had any fast food yet. By the way,
You know what though?
it's almost
But
3 months. Actually,
but
it's
good.
over probably almost 3 months now.
But in all honesty,
I'm
good for you
jonesing
though.
though.
I listen, man. Hey, in all honesty, good for you. I mean, I don't think you know, for me, I haven't had to. I haven't had a craving for fast food in quite a while myself. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I don't know if it's just more of a mindset thing or if it's just like, hey, like I could do. It's almost one of those things where it's like you could do this anytime.
Yeah,
You can do this anytime. You don't have to do it right now. You know what I mean? Um, but I think honestly, like the whole thing that I'm just very like you said before we kind of wrap up here, like the amount of the amount of resilience and the amount of strength that you had to overcome what you did. Okay. That's not something that ever should be overlooked. Like, and I'm so, and honestly, like I was very, like, I'm very honored that you shared that with me. And I know it was tough for you. I know there were a lot of times where you were probably like, dude, I don't want to fucking talk about this. Like, I don't want to talk about this at all. Like, dude, Jimmy, you're a good guy and all, man. And I love you, but fuck, I'm not going to talk about this. I'm really not like, I'm out, dude. Like let's talk about anything else. But, um,
nah, it was helpful.
hey, I'm glad. No, and I'm glad it was. But I think what it just sends such a great message because it's like you can absolutely overcome the shit that happens to you. Like you can.
Yeah, man. I mean, I wear this rubber band every day. Never give up.
Hey,
Um,
and that's perfect.
it's and like I thought I believed that before, but even more so going through this because it's like it's so hard when you like don't know when you know there's got to be an end at some point, but you don't know when. Like you
Right.
don't know when, right? So
Yeah. You have no, you don't because you can't honestly, can't predict the future. Like
yeah,
no.
you can't plan for it. Like so, and last night I went over to a friend of mine. Her younger brother who used to live around here is back in town. But we were talking, and I was like, the last time I really like went out before, probably like mid July, late July or whatever, was to her house for they had a 1 year birthday party for their 1 year old, right? And I was in miserable. I was in a lot of pain at that point. Not probably not the worst that I got to, but it was like getting to the point where I'm like, this is bad. So like I was there and I was miserable, but they didn't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, just so you know. Just like, oh, we
Right.
haven't seen you in a while. I was like, yeah, the last time I saw you guys, I was pretty miserable, banged up. You didn't
It was
know,
it was
but
bad. Yeah.
um, but yeah, it was a struggle, and I'm happy that it's over. Oh, so I should say it's not over. Actually should clarify it's not over. I still have some pain.
Yeah.
There's still some lingering effects. I have some hip pain now because of overcompensating and shit, but overall, like I'm still able to I'm gonna go to the gym after we're done recording. Um, but I was happy that so many people were like felt inspired. That was kind of the goal of it, you know, just trying to,
Yeah.
whether it's you're dealing with sciatica and you know that, hey, you can get through it, or if you're on a weight loss journey and you're like, I nothing's working. I had people reach out for both, and I was like, first of all, this has only worked for me, so don't, you know
That's
not
another
necessarily going
thing.
to be the same thing that's worked for everybody. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Right. Right.
it was nice to know that, like, hey, if you fucking just put your nose down and just dig in, go to work, man, you can do it. Like, I know I obviously have a history working out at the gym or whatever, but like, and yeah, I did fucking bust my ass going like 2 hours a day, and not like my normal 2 hours, which are like maybe like an hour working out and then like dilly dallying in between, like taking my time. This was like 2 hours, like fucking straight, like going to
Yeah.
work, like no, very little downtime in between. So like, yeah, I would do that, and not everybody maybe will do that. But it's like the diet part. Anybody can do the diet. You know what I mean? Like anybody can. If you can't do this, you can do that, or if you want to do both. So it was like I did feel like a lot of pride in that, where I'm like, yeah, man, I fucking
You did
did
it.
that.
Hell yeah, you
This
did
I'm
it.
used to. This I'm used to. Going to the gym, busting my ass, even though it was almost like took some time to get back into the swing of it. Where it's like that was another thing that was crazy. Where it's like you were out of the gym for 7 months, and then you get back in, start slowly doing the things that you remember doing, and then like your memory kicks in, and like, oh yeah, this feels normal, but it's like, no, you can't do that yet. Like, you can't do that yet.
Nope.
You take
Don't
that
overdo
pin out, put it a little up, put the pin out, put a little bit more higher, put that higher.
it.
We can't. Yeah, we're not where we were, but it's
Yeah.
like that's a little humbling. But yeah, man, it there's a certain set of pride for me that I felt in that experience, and like putting that out there. And like I said before, the hardest part was taking that before picture back in August, and like keeping that in my camera roll and not deleting it, even though I
Yeah.
wanted to, because I'm like,
Yeah, and
oh,
just keeping it until you
well,
actually posted the before and after. Yeah,
exactly. And
absolutely.
then like now I can let people see that how I did look, and now how I look now, obviously. And it's like you can do that. Maybe not necessarily in 2 months. Who cares
It
how long
doesn't
it
have to
takes?
be it doesn't have to be exact, but it can be done.
Exactly. Like I did it in 2 months because I really wanted to. I was sick of being on the shelf for so long, and I really wanted to fucking. I wanted to, but it doesn't have to. Like any progress is good progress. So it's
Yeah.
like showing that, seeing that. I hope it did inspire some people. I mean, I know some people reached out and said that it inspired them, but I really hope it like truly inspires that, because I said it before. I said it in the video on TikTok. It's like the inspiration is one thing, but like, and like they're like, oh, what can you like? What kind of motivation can you give so and so to do this? And I was like, I, nobody can like motivate you to do anything except yourself. Like we could sit on this podcast and motivate you to want to do anything, but
Yeah.
only you can motivate yourself to actually go ahead and do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I can give you inspiration to want to go and do better and do that, but like only you can decide to actually do it. So like,
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. I agree. I agree. Well, if there's anything that I hope people can take away from this is that, like, again, it doesn't have to be exact, but it can be done. And
yeah,
you just have to find the will in order to do it. Like, what's your why? And I'm really glad that we got to share that with you today, here on All the Vibes with Jimmy and Derek,
yeah,
because I mean, whether it's feeling good after a haircut or just like accomplishing something that you really want to accomplish, like
yeah,
100,000%, like, either way, like, again, it doesn't have to be like Derek did it. It doesn't have to be the way that I would do it. It just has
exactly.
to make sense for us. It has to make sense for our lifestyle, and it has to make sense for our schedule. It has to make all of the sense in the world. You can't compare yourself to other people. And
And I do want to say, if you're happy with how you look, great.
oh, that
We're
too.
happy with how you look. Even if
Absolutely.
you look like an awkward fucking Twizzler, we're happy with how you look. You know what I mean? We are happy.
Use
That's
that use that comparison until the end of time.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. But this has been all the vibes with Jimmy and Derek. We hope you guys enjoyed it. And thanks a lot for listening. We're glad that we're getting back into it after being off for about a couple weeks, one episode. But
we appreciate y'all.
We're back and we're back and we're in full swing. So thanks a lot for watching and listening.
And Jimmy's looking fresh.
Yeah, buddy. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. All right, everyone, have a good one. See ya.